Good afternoon, everybody. I guess it's afternoon now, and I want to say thank you to everyone for joining us as we talk about what this summer holds, and we share with you some important messages about how those of us in Austin and Travis County and the visitors that come to Austin and Travis County will be able to stay safe as our temperatures increase, and in some instances, I guess the best word is as our temperatures soar. The seasonal outlook for Austin forecasts a hotter than normal summer from June through August, and temperatures on some days could climb to between 105 and 110 degrees Fahrenheit. That should come as no surprise, since before we even reached June, we had days with heat index values well above 100. In fact, today I think, if I'm accurate, I think today the heat index that we're expecting is 106. Now, this is Texas, and yes, Texas has always been hot, but climate change is causing more extreme heat, and recent climate projections developed by researchers at the University of Texas at Austin show an increasing trend in higher summer temperatures with predictions of more frequent and intense heat waves. With summer heat already beginning to impact Central Texas, we are together here today because we want our community members to prepare themselves to be in the heat by taking certain precautions. Those precautions include things such as pre-hydrate in the days and hours leading up to being in the heat, wear sunscreen, continue to hydrate while you're in the heat, wear light-colored, loose-fitting clothing and a hat, take frequent breaks, and limit activities if you can to early in the morning or the evening. There are a few other things to keep in mind. Look before you lock your vehicle. And what that's really about is heat stroke is the leading cause of non-collision vehicle deaths for children. Vehicles can heat up very, very quickly, even on mildly warm days. So put something in the back seat that like a purse or a cell phone, so that you'll remember to check the back seat. Also, with regard to your vehicles, don't leave valuables in your vehicle when you go to parks or trails for exercise. During the summer, we actually see an increase in vehicle break-ins at places like this, so don't make your vehicle a target. This summer will also likely be another record-breaking season for energy demand from the state's electrical grid as well. Last summer saw 10 all-time peak demand records. So please, please conserve energy to help ease the load and the demand that we see on our grid whenever you can. And remember that Austin Energy doesn't control the state's electrical grid. Austin Energy generates the energy that is then stored by and distributed through the state's electrical grid that is maintained by ERCOT. Austin Energy, by the way, recently completed its summer weatherization inspections and maintenance activities in preparation for this hot summer, and we're certified as summer ready with ERCOT. Throughout the summer, you can expect that Austin Energy will echo communications that we receive from ERCOT, especially in the event of a call for conservation or energy emergency. Some useful conservation tips include avoid major appliance usage during the hottest parts of the day, raise your thermostats a few degrees in your house or apartment, and use fans to help cool. If you do have a power outage, you can report it online at austinenergy.com/outages. austinenergy.com/outages. Or by texting OUT, the word OUT, O-U-T, to 287-846. 287-846. Text the word OUT. Or you can call 512-322-9100. 512-322-9100. And you can find current outage maps at austinenergy.com traviscounty.com/outages as well. Energy isn't the only thing we need to conserve this summer. Austin is currently under Stage 2 drought conditions. In this stage, automatic irrigation and hose-ending watering is limited to 1 day a week. We ask everyone to make an effort to conserve their water usage. You might have seen recently that the LCRA, the Lower Colorado River Authority, has scaled back their drought response to Stage 1, thanks to the recent rains, and those rains boosted lake levels. And that's good news. But while we have that good news, Austin's drought contingency plan is based on the long-term projections for the lake levels. So the city is still at Stage 2. It's important to understand our water supply has been stressed from years of drought, and we need to continue to use water wisely. So know your watering day, just like you know your trash day. If you're unsure of your irrigation system settings, qualifying customers may schedule a free irrigation system evaluation by a licensed irrigator from Austin that will be sent from Austin Water. Call 512-974-2199. 512-974-2199. Please water only during the cooler parts of the day to reduce evaporation, early morning before 10 a.m. or late evening after 7 p.m. Check for leaks in your irrigation system as well. Inspect and maintain your irrigation system to repair leaks and replace broken sprinkler heads. Residents can sign up in the MyATX Water portal. MyATX Water. You can complete a customer profile and set up alerts for high use and leaks. This puts you in the driver's seat of knowing how much you use and can notify you if your pipes are leaking or if the water has been left on. Consider adding drought-tolerant plants to your landscape to reduce the need for frequent watering, and pick up a Grow Green guide at austintexas.gov/department/growgreen. And please explore Austin Water's conservation rebates. Those can help save money while you're conserving water, and you can do that by going to austinwater.org for more information. Avoid wasting water. Don't let water run down your driveway or sidewalk. And if you got something that you need to clean, instead of using a hose and water, use a broom or something of that nature to clean outdoor areas. I'm happy to be joined today by Travis County Judge Andy Brown, as well as a number of the emergency management leaders, both for the City of Austin and Travis County, and of course, Austin-Travis County EMS, to share more important information. We have representatives from several departments that always play a role in our heat preparedness and response, and they're available to answer questions after we hear from our speakers. But now I'm going to turn it over to my partner in all this, Judge Brown. Judge.
Good afternoon. I'm Travis County Judge Andy Brown, and I'm wearing pretty much the opposite of what the mayor just described as what you should wear in the heat. This is not light-colored or loose-fitting, and I don't have a hat on, so...
but we're still happy to have you.
Thank you. So I want to thank the city and the county departments that are working hard to keep our community safe as we get into hotter weather. Our first responders and our emergency management teams from the city and the county are going above and beyond, as they always do, to help the community stay informed about the severe heat that affects our community and the dangers that come along with it. So right now I'm here to ask the public to do their part as well. And so during these hotter months that we're in the middle, that we're starting into right now, please check on your elderly and medically fragile neighbors. Make that a priority. Friends, family, neighbors. The very young, the very old, and people with complex or chronic medical conditions are at increased risk for heat-related illness. If anyone needs a place to cool down, Travis County has cooling centers available for the public to use. All of the Travis County community centers will serve as cooling centers and are open to the public during normal business hours. And you can find the locations of those at traviscountytx.gov. We also have a cooling center at 700 Lavaca, where today we're having Commissioner's Court. Everyone is welcome to join us there. It is cool in there. Whether it's the Travis County or the City of Austin cooling centers, we encourage the public to take advantage of these places if they need a break from the heat. With severe heat, I know the public will look for recreational ways to cool down, as will I. Travis County Parks is home to many of our great water recreational areas where people love to cool off during the summer heat. Please remember that water and boating safety is also extremely important to keeping everybody in your group safe while enjoying your time on the water. Make sure everybody in your party has a properly fitting life jacket. Many Travis County parks provide life jacket loaner stations where you and your family can borrow a life jacket while you're in the water. Always have a flotation device on board your boat that you can throw to a distressed person in the water in case of an accident or other emergency. And whether you're in a lake or a pool, be sure to assign a designated water watcher to your group. This person's sole task should be to watch everyone in the group in the water without any distractions from cell phones, books, or any other tasks. Drowning is still the #1 cause of death in children under 5 years old, so please have a water watcher in your group, especially when you're out with children, and never leave children of any age unattended in the water or near the water. Learning CPR can save lives at the lake or the pool as well. Our data shows that only 28% of drowning victims receive CPR or rescue breathing before EMS arrives. Let's work on getting that percentage up in Austin and Travis County. By working together and looking out for each other, we can assure everyone has a safe and enjoyable summertime. I want to thank you for your time, and thanks for being here today. And I'll now pass it over to Ken Snipes, Director, City of Austin, Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Management.
Thank you, Judge Brown. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ken Snipes, Director of Austin's Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Management. As you heard from Mayor Watson, the climate is changing. And as a result, we are seeing an increase in the number of cases related to heat illness, which includes 123 visits to Austin area hospitals in May of this year alone. For the same time period last year, there were 48 visits of this type. There's also 187 visits in the Tri-County area over the last year as well. We want people to know to be safe and to continue to take precautions as they engage throughout the summer in activities. We know that we're paying attention to a lot of trends now, and one of those that we have found is that when there are 3 or more days of heat over 100 degrees, there tends to be a spike in heat-related illnesses. We need our community to prepare for a long, hot summer. We have cooling centers that will be open. The City of Austin is taking measures to provide relief to Austinites and visitors who may need a break from the heat. City facilities, including libraries and indoor park facilities, are available as cooling centers during their normal hours of operation. Cooling centers are meant to be a temporary reprieve from the heat for anyone needing to cool off during the hottest times of the day. When the National Weather Service issues an excessive heat warning across the city, Cap Metro has also made their services available, and anyone who needs those services, all they need to do is let the operator of the bus know, and they will be allowed to ride for free. The hours and locations of the cooling centers can be found at the city's alerts webpage at austintexas.gov/alerts. That's Austin, Texas, all one word, .gov/alerts. And that information is available in 14 different languages. With respect to air travel, while heat does not typically disrupt airline operations, it's always best to check on your travel and keep an eye on your flight itineraries, as summer weather often brings intense thunderstorms that impact travel. Just this past week, we saw in a couple of cities to our north where travel was impacted for several days. With respect to wildfire, we want to remind everyone that summer is also wildfire season. Austin ranks 6th in the nation in the number of homes that are at risk of wildfire. 90% of wildfires are made by humans. Prevent wildfire by properly disposing of cigarettes, tie up tow chains so they don't drag, and don't park or idle vehicles in dry grass. Preventing wildfire is everyone's responsibility. You can learn how to prepare for wildfire by going to Ready, Set, Go, which will teach you how to create a defensible space around your home and also provide steps for evacuation planning. That information is available at readycentraltexas.org. Again, that is readycentraltexas.org. And now I would like to introduce Travis County Chief of Emergency Management, Eric Carter.
Thank you, Ken. All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. Many of you will be out visiting our beautiful Travis County parks this summer as we get into the hot weather. I want to share with you a few tips on staying cool and healthy during the hot weather to ensure your trip is enjoyable, your visitors are fun. As Judge Brown mentioned, Travis County parks often offer fantastic opportunities for outdoor adventures, but remember, staying hydrated, taking breaks in the shade are key to preventing heat-related illnesses. While protecting ourselves from the heat, we must also be mindful of mosquitoes. These insects can carry West Nile virus, so it's important to fight the bite with the 4 Ds. And what are the 4 Ds, right? Draining standing water, dusk to dawn as an issue, dress, and DEET. It takes a very little amount of water for mosquitoes to breed, so you want to make sure that you're draining your trash cans if you have collections of water around your yard. Dusk to dawn, mosquito activity is more heightened in those periods. So early in the morning, or if you choose to work in the evening or that dusk area, that's the time to change and get into that long sleeve clothing that we talked about that the judge mentioned, and dress appropriately. That'll help protect you. Dress, of course, I just mentioned that about changing your dress, and DEET is applying insect repellent. That's very important. It helps protect you from the mosquito threat that might be present. So following those simple steps can be significant to reduce your risk of West Nile virus. Let's talk a little bit about being prepared in case you get lost or experience heat stroke while exploring our beautiful parks. We want to strongly encourage you to download the What 3 Words app to your smartphone. That app can help you communicate your exact location to 911 if you have to make an emergency call for help. That's also, of course, available if you're on a highway. It's just as critical, so it'll get those responders to you faster. Just wanted to give you those few tips. At this point, I'm going to turn it over to Austin Travis County EMS Chief Robert Lipkritz. Robert.
Good afternoon. Robert Lukritz, Chief of Austin Travis County EMS. Heat emergencies, heat-related illnesses are true emergencies, and this year they've already started. We are well into the heat season for us. Just over Memorial Day weekend, we saw a significant spike in heat-related illnesses. From Friday until Monday, we responded to 54 heat-related emergencies just in that one weekend. By comparison, in 2023, we only saw 8 heat-related emergencies. Since the beginning of April, we've already responded to 177 heat-related illnesses, which is almost a 90% increase over last year. It's important that we take heat-related illnesses very seriously, both for ourselves and for those that are around us. As was mentioned earlier, those with chronic medical conditions and other fragile populations are at a higher risk. Those that are very young, very old, chronic or complex medical issues, please check on those individuals. If those are your neighbors, if they're your loved ones, please check on them on a regular basis to ensure that they have all of the resources that they need. It's important that we understand as well what the signs and symptoms of heat-related emergencies are. There are really 3 categories of heat-related illness: heat cramps, heat exhaustion, and heat stroke. Starting with the first of heat cramps, many may be familiar. Muscle cramps, abdominal cramps. When you start to feel those things and you're in the heat, it's important that you stop what you're doing, you move yourself to a cool place, and you wait for them to stop. If you fail to do that, this can progress to heat exhaustion. Heat exhaustion is the beginning of an emergency. Signs and symptoms include cool, pale, and clammy skin, weakness, dizziness, heavy sweating, nausea, vomiting, or if you start to feel your pulse racing. You need to move to shade or preferably air conditioning and start to sip some cool water. If you fail to do that, this can continue to evolve into heat stroke, which is a truly life-threatening emergency. Individuals experiencing heat stroke may become lethargic or lose consciousness. They may become confused. They may become red, hot, dry. And this is when folks stop sweating. Now, all of these things need not go together. If you are out with someone or if you feel yourself stop sweating in the heat, that is an emergency. You need to get out of the heat. You need to get yourself to a cool place, and you need to start hydrating yourself. Once you start to see confusion, lethargy, body temperature significantly increasing, move them, cool them, and call 911. EMS is prepared to respond to heat stroke emergencies. We can reverse many of those symptoms and those illnesses if we're able to get there in a timely manner. Please call us. Heat-related illnesses are something that we look actively for during the summer months. You need to let us know as we're responding and to our 911 dispatchers if you believe the heat is involved, if the individual has been outside in the heat. And of course, help us help you. As a reminder, our crews are in the heat as well, working hard each and every day. When you see them, please recognize that. For those of you that are working outdoors on a regular basis, please understand the signs and symptoms of heat stroke and take frequent breaks. Those strenuous activities increase your risk. And if you're managing individuals that are working outside, encourage frequent breaks, provide hydration, sports drinks, shade, and other things to keep your workers safely. Help us help you. Again, please hydrate, use sunscreen, drink lots of water, wear light, loose clothing and hats, take frequent breaks, and limit your activities to the early morning or evening if you can. Again, please know the signs and symptoms of heat-related emergencies, and if you see someone experiencing heat stroke, call 911 immediately. With that, I'll turn this back over to the mayor.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Judge, and thanks to all the professionals that are here. We obviously have other professionals that can answer questions that you might have, so why don't I open it up for questions for a few minutes. Betty?
It's kind of surprising. I mean, the difference between one year and the next, but listening to those numbers for EMS calls, that was pretty dramatic. Do you feel like it can't just be climate change? What do we think that is?
Well, I'll let the chief answer, but one of the quick answers I'll give is I think that probably we're doing a better job of getting information out to the public so that people are more aware. And so you have an opportunity for people to, you know, the work that the county does, the work that we do, the work that all these departments do. People are more aware, and that's the purpose of doing this and the job you're doing. And I think that probably adds to it to a degree as well. But I'll let the chief add anything.
I think what the mayor just said is pretty accurate. I believe that we're educating individuals. I also believe that we are seeing some significant heat. As we all know, it was very early into April we were seeing significant heat days, and I think that may have contributed to it as well. And as long as I was given the microphone back here, one thing that I did want to reemphasize that the mayor said earlier is check your vehicles, check your back seat. Yeah. I cannot emphasize that enough. When you put whatever you need in the back seat, but it is a tragedy. It is an absolute tragedy when we see emergencies where someone or something is left in the back seat. So please check your back seat for your loved ones, your children, your pets, whatever it might be.
But you haven't seen a trend as far as like a certain demographic or a certain, I don't know. I remember a couple of summers ago they were seeing young men who were continuing to exercise in the heat, and there was a definite skewing of who was going to the emergency room. Are you seeing anything like that this year?
We are not seeing any particular trends at this point.
I think my hope is that there's some good news in this. I mean, it's not good news when people are suffering and we're having emergency type situations. But I think people know it's hot, right? And I think people are now paying attention, and we will continue to do this. That was one of the judge and I talked about this last year about we wanted to be doing this on a routine basis where it stays front of mind. And even though some things may seem simple, if it's not front of mind, we don't think about it. So I'm going to take it as some good news. The glass being half full, if you will. We're going to conserve it and not fill it all the way up. But glass being half full in that people are paying attention, and we encourage people to keep doing that. Yes, sir.
Question for you. Have any operations changed because of the heat with the city or county? For example, maybe staggering work hours for some of the workers, more frequent breaks, anything like that because of this heat?
Well, if they're outside, people are being allowed breaks in order to make sure everybody's safe. But there haven't been specific changes as of yet in things beyond that. Now, of course, we're looking at everything that we're asking everybody to look at as we move into the heat. Other questions?
Mayor back here. Hi.
And if you have something, I'll jump in. Yeah. Oh yeah, I see you back there.
Sorry.
Your halo's awfully bright.
Can you talk to us about the plan for how we're responding to people who are experiencing homelessness and how we're preparing them for the heat?
And in fact, what I'll do, instead of me giving an answer, I'll ask the director of our office in that regard, David Gray, to step up and say a few words.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. David Gray, Home Strategy Officer for the City of Austin. I appreciate the question. The City of Austin and our partners are well prepared for the heat when it comes to serving our clients and our residents who are experiencing homelessness. As you all know and might be aware, a number of city buildings and city offices as well as county offices are open to the public as cooling centers. These include libraries and recreation centers. Over the Memorial Day holiday, we actually had staff from our civilian departments come back to work when they were supposed to be on holiday to make sure that those government facilities were open. We have also worked with Urban Alchemy, which is our nonprofit partner at the Arch and at H Street. We've converted a parking lot in downtown Austin into what we call the Oasis. It's a place where people can come, they can get access to water or coffee if they come in the morning. It's open 7 days a week, but most importantly, they also get connected with Urban Alchemy staff who can enroll those individuals in services, or if we have beds available, they can get them into shelter. Lastly, we are changing our operations at the Arch itself. So now the Arch will also serve as a cooling center 7 days a week. We are seeing clients come into facilities at the Oasis like I talked about. We've already served 200 unique individuals at that site. And we're continuing to have conversations with our nonprofit partners to make sure that our street outreach teams have water, not just for our staff, but also for clients who are coming across, and that we're providing water to our nonprofit partners who are also doing street outreach throughout the city. And thank you for the question, and thank you for the time, Mr. Mayor.
Good answer. All right, Judge, you want to sum us up? Anything special you want to say?
I'm good. I'll let you,
All right.
you do it.
That's how cool he is, right? Well, we appreciate y'all being here and helping us in the communication because it's important for this communication. We will continue to do this, and from time to time, if something particular happens or we feel some need, we'll do this. But on a fairly routine basis, we will continue to do this because as we think we're making a difference in doing this. So everybody that's paying attention to this and watching, do what we need to do to try to stay cool and do what we need to do to conserve our energy and conserve our water. So thank you all for being here. And thanks to all of these professionals that I'm always struck by what a good job the professionals that work for our city and our county do to keep us safe and to provide us the information we need. So I want to say a special thank you to everybody. Thank you all.
Thanks. Thank you.